Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we are going to analyze Bitcoin from moving average perspective. None of the content is financial advice. The chart that you are seeing on the screen is the trading view weekly Bitcoin price action chart since inception in starting 2009. The key lines that you are seeing on the screen, the green line is the which at times turns orange, is the 50-week simple moving average. Whenever the green line flips orange, that's the bear market, where the price is below the 50-week simple moving average. That's the or the again, all moving averages are lagging indicators, but that's one of the earlier indicators that the bear market has begun. Whereas the blue line over here is the 200-week simple moving average. Again, it took the first 200 weeks where the price of action for first 200 weeks before we saw this blue line over here. Similarly, first 50 weeks, after first 50 weeks, this green line became current. So whenever the price went significantly close to the blue line or slightly below the blue line, when the blue line turns white in color, that's the major accumulation phase for the bear market lows for Bitcoin. Again, in 2017, 2018, the price never went below the blue line but came really close to the blue line, that the 200-week simple moving average. In 2015, it went below the blue line when the blue line turned white. In 2022 as well, the June drop of 2022, the price went below the 200-week simple moving average. That was one clear accumulation zone, and then back again in August 2023 when the price went below the 200-week simple moving average. Right now, the 200-week simple moving average for Bitcoin is at around 55k. This line could be a great indicator come mid to late 2026 if this orange line were to persist. Again, now the price is below the 50-week simple moving average, and if you look it really closely, you would find that the green line over here has flipped orange as the price of Bitcoin starting this week. Again, if today the price stays below the 50-week simple moving average, which is currently at around 102k. Again, price is at around 94k, so it has started becoming, and today would be the weekly close for this week. It has started to become increasingly unlikely that the price would be closing above the 50-week simple moving average unless something really happens to the bullish side in the next few hours or so. So you can see the color of the line has turned from green to orange. Historically speaking, that is when the bear market kind of materialized. So for example, in 2021, the line flipped orange in late December 2021, and it took about 5 to 6 months before the price went crashing down to the 200-week simple moving average. So if something similar happens 6 months from now, that would be in early June or late May 2026, then at that point, if you were to extrapolate the moving average, again, the prices are way above or have been way above the 55-week $55,000 range, which is the 200-week simple moving average. Right now, and the price is at around 94k, so almost $40,000 delta. So if you were to extrapolate that to, let's say, mid to late April, May 2026, it would be more than likely that the 200-week simple moving average is somewhere between $60 and $65. Sorry, $60 and $65,000 for Bitcoin. So if and when the price eventually cools off and comes in the bear market close to that $65,000 range, the blue line could at that point flip to white. And again, there are no guarantees that again, the accumulation zone, you could argue, could be slightly different for each cycle. So for example, in 2015 cycle, the price did go slightly below the 200-week. In 2017, 2018, did not go. In 2022, it went below the 200-week and stayed down for multiple weeks to months. So in 2026, this could look slightly different. And this change could be captured by this green line over here, which is the 300-week simple moving average. Again, started in 2015 when Bitcoin completed its first 300 weeks. And you could see the shape and trajectory of the 200 week and 300 week moving average is more or less the same with some lag, with, or you can see one residual over here where the price in 2020 did find its support at the 300 week, but in 2022 the price went below the 300 week, and that was very close to the bottom. Again, that's not much of a accumulation range. It lasted only from mid November 2022 till about early Jan 2023, so less than a month, less than 2 months, entirety of December 2022 and half of November and half of Jan of 2023. So that kind of, again, from cycle to cycle, if what I am personally going to look for is if price were to go below the 200 week simple moving average in 2026, how it does with respect to the 300 week simple moving average. Right now the 300 week simple moving average for Bitcoin is $47,000. Again, extrapolating it to mid to late 2026, that imaginary line could go somewhere close between $55,000 and $60,000 at that point in time, mid to late June, July 2026. So again, historically speaking, coming to our own website, where we have ROI analysis for these assets. Again, if we go to this ROI section, this is all of Bitcoin in its entirety. So for 2025, the price is still, from the yearly open at the ROI was negative for a couple of days. Then now it's back into positive ranges, positive 1% for this 2025. If you roll over 4 years before, in 2022, 4 years from 2026, that is, the ROI started becoming more and more negative after the first initial drop of in the first 6 months itself on June 18th, when the ROI was less than negative 50%, starting that drop in mid-June 2022. If something similar were to happen 1 month prior in 2026, again, as if Bitcoin in the next couple of months does not create a new all-time high, then the all-time high for this cycle would have been in October 2025. So unlike in 2021, where the new all-time the cycle high was in early November 2021. So again, 1 month early. So for bottom also, it could be 1 month early in that regard. Coming back to the ROI analysis again, and then in that case, again, from 2018 also, the first major drop did occur in mid to late June 2018, and then subsequently in fourth quarter, again, one more drop in early November that occurred early to mid November, whereas in 2022 it occurred a couple of weeks earlier in first week of November itself. So again, this time around in 2026, that could occur sometime in mid to early October 2026. So that's where that 300 week simple moving average could come into play. And if we were to extrapolate this line, try to be as reasonable with that extrapolation, that 300 week simple moving average for Bitcoin at that point could be somewhere close to $60,000 level. So that's where another exercise of extrapolation could help identify. It all depends on how the price action takes Bitcoin either up or down between now and then. That's just the bear case scenario analysis for Bitcoin. Again, now this analysis becomes more and more prudent as the price of Bitcoin is well below the 50-week simple moving average. Coming to the other assets such as ETH over here, if we do similar analysis for ETH, again, ETH has been a relatively newer asset compared to Bitcoin, but nonetheless it holds true whenever, again, this is the ETH when it was below the 200 week back in 2019, when the price was sub $200. That was a clear cut accumulation phase for ETH. And also similar in 2022, again, this cycle there were 3 instances where the price of ETH was below the 200 week. First in June 2022, when the price fell below $1,200. Again, second time in December 2022, when the price again was lower than $1,300. and the third time in 2025 itself, when the price was less than $2,400, and then not only 200 week lower than 200 week, but also lower than the 300 week simple moving average back in early to mid March of 2025, when the price fell to below the $2,000 level. Right now the 300 week simple moving average for ETH is at around $2,100. The 200 week is at around $2,400. So depending on what ETH does in the next few weeks or months, and with the wider crypto market, if it concludes in the first quarter of 2026 or the last quarter of 2025, price could potentially come crashing down below this 200 week and 300 week possibly. So that's something that I would be looking for in 2026. Right now, the narratives that are garnering traction in the market, you can check them out, all of them in on this website. This is all free for all. This is my personal website that I have developed using stats and machine learning model. This is the machine learning model for term frequencies of popular narratives in the last 7 days. Although the size of bearish narrative is less than the bullish narrative, if you go to the most of the popular narratives are related to Bitcoin and not much related to altcoin. And if you go and check what has happened in terms of the heat map, in terms of the price heat map, the barometer, the 24-hour barometer, every single major crypto is down in the price performance. Even in last 7 days, barring this XMR narrative, most of them are down. In the last 30 days, again, handful names are up. But again, roll the clock back to last 90 days, most of the cryptos are down on their 90-day performance. This is all of the top cryptos by market cap, which have been active since 2020. So not the recently released cryptos, but the top 50 cryptos by market cap with significant presence, what they are doing. So the directionality for the asset class over the last 90 days has not been that great. The narratives are again not signaling either lot of bullishness or bearishness. If you go to the last 24 hours worth of news related to crypto, has been largely neutral or bullish, but still overall sentiment score is a 50-50 split between the bullish and the bearish narratives. This is all summarized using machine learning models based on crypto related news over the last 24 hours, just summarized into and color coded into if how this sentiment is looking. Coming to the individual risk analysis of these assets, again, Bitcoin and ETH are in this mid-risk tier as of today, and some of the other assets which have significant presence since 2017 are slightly higher risky than Bitcoin or ETH at this moment. Overall, with the ROI analysis and the moving average analysis, what remains to be seen is how this bull market concludes with this peak value analysis. If it goes with a whimper where let's say the overall market risk goes lower than 0.2 and this blue color over here, then again there is little wiggle room for the market to recover from that, like it did back in April 2025. When the color codes were for the entire market cycle or entire market risk were less than 0.2 or in blue color, there was a recovery from April till about mid October 2025 when the overall risk was at around 0.5. Now it has come cooling down to about 0.3 risk. But again, as we move towards the end of the post-halving year of 2025, if it unfortunately goes to below 0.2, that could be a clear sign that the market is again wrapping up for this market cycle, like it did back in May 2022 as well. When from that point in the bear market, there was no presence from that. Once the risk fell below 0.2 in May 2022, it took about February 2024, about almost 2 years to get back to a healthy bullish market from that point. Again, that doesn't mean that there weren't any bear market accumulation phases, but again the price action was essentially in either recovery mode or in finding the bottom. So again, all of that could be analyzed by this composite risk based and interpretation of the top 100 cryptos, how they are doing in terms of volatility, alpha, beta, risk adjusted return, and percent drawdown. Takes into consideration their price based risk and ties into a one single composite risk score for the entire market, the crypto market, that is between 0 and 1, 1 being the max risk, 0 being the least risk. Again, this time around we did come really close to the zero point 0.6 or the high risk level when the price action was in December 2024, where there was a significant euphoria in the market cycle. Since then, again, 2025 has not been that great for the asset class. Although some cryptos have been going up, you can see from the ROI perspective, if you go back to the ROI chart in 2025, again, just looking at some of the popular crypto, again, even Bitcoin was negative in November from the yearly open, not that great. ETH definitely negative 7 or 8% from the yearly open. Looking at Sol or Solana, negative 30% from the yearly open. XRP, again, that from here on it could be hit or miss based on how they performed in 2024. Again, XRP has been negative 4% from the yearly open. Doge has been negative 50%, almost lost half of its value in 2025, which is supposed to be a post-halving year bull market. Toncoin negative a lot, negative 66%, has fallen off a cliff. ADA negative 45% from the yearly open. Sheeb negative 59%. Tron negative almost, oh sorry, Tron has been positive 15%, so that's kind of like an outlier over here. And then AVAX negative 58% from the yearly open, that is just in 2025. Link over here, similar story, negative 36% from the yearly open. Dot negative 60% from the yearly open. Bitcoin Cash similar to Bitcoin, but again kind of like a positive story for 2025, up 11%. Uniswap in 2025 negative 45%. Near protocol in 2025 negative 55%. Litecoin, this one is closer to Bitcoin but still negative 3%. Coming to ICP, negative 48%, despite this great rally that ICP has had from negative 72%. It's still at one point negative 15%, but still back to negative 50%. Injective, similar story, negative 67%. XLM tried to have a decent performance in June, July 2025, but has still fallen off the cliff, about 40% negative. So again, this post-halving here has been quite different from 2021, with again even cryptos of high market cap such as Bitcoin and ETH not doing well in 2025 compared to what they did similar time in 2021. If you look at Bitcoin in 2021 and compare it with 2025, same time, November 15th, let's go November 15th, 2021, up by about 116%. Now it's barely up 1%. Doing the same analysis for ETH in 2025 versus ETH in 2021. In 2021, ETH was up about 500% similar time. Now it's negative 5% in 2025. Sol again, I think, was an outlier. Let's analyze BNB instead of Sol. BNB up 31% in 2025, was up almost 16 to 1700% in 2021. Again, there is some diminished volatility due to the market cap, but again, that big of a difference is kind of unwarranted from cycle to cycle. Again, Sol largely flat. In 2021 was up about 14,000%. That was Sol's time to shine. So the older cryptos, again, XRP 2021, similar time in 2021. Let's go and check how it was doing November 15th 2021, up 400% from the yearly open. This time around negative 4%. So the idea is clear. This market cycle has not been that great for altcoins. Even the post halving year has not been that great for Bitcoin. Let's see if something changes in the next 45 days. If not, the bear market scenario that we discussed in here could be something to watch for in 2026. Again, none of the content financial advice. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please give a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.